I love to see the families come in. I love to see the kids smiling. They're so excited to be there every morning. They can't wait to tell me the verse that they memorized, or that they lost a tooth, or that they saw a rainbow yesterday. They're just so excited to be there, and it just makes my heart super happy. So my philosophy of the children's ministry is know, love, and do. I want the kids to learn to know Jesus with all their heart. I try to expose them and tell them about the truths of the Bible, and then I want them to learn to love God. I want them to know what all He's done for us, and we talk about those God sightings and things that remind them of God. And then I want them to do. I want them to go out, be servants. I want them to have a servant's heart. We talk about what are things we can do as 6, 7, and 8-year-olds, what are things we can do as 9, 10, 11-year-olds, and how we can spread the word of God. And that's our job, is to go out and spread the word. And so that's our philosophy in our children's ministry. A few years ago, I started this mentoring program. I had some kids that had aged out of children's church, and they wanted to come back and work. And so I knew that they were so close in age to some of the kids that were still attending children's church, and I was trying to figure out the best way for them to fulfill their need to serve, but also to not cross that line between being a leader and a friend. And so I decided to start this mentoring program. And so I take a Sunday morning during a service, and I go over the goals and objectives of our children's ministry, and then I also give them a children's version of a spiritual gifts assessment. And they answer several questions. I think there's 55 questions, and then that lets them know what their spiritual gift is. And then we talk about spiritual gifts and how God gives everybody a spiritual gift, and it's something different, and that's where their heart is, and they may not realize what it is. And then when we get those results, then I try to place them in an area in the children's ministry that might align with their spiritual gifts assessment. And then sometimes they love it and it works great, and then sometimes they don't like it and they choose not to work in that area, or sometimes it's just not for them to work back there and they choose to do something else in our church to serve. But I love that they want to serve when they're 9 and 10 and 11. That's the part of the do part of our philosophy. So the summer of 2008, when I started working in the children's ministry, when I became the director, we had a small group of kids, maybe 20-ish, and we were serving a small snack and doing a lesson in the Blue Room. And then I quickly realized as our numbers grew that was multi-age, multi-sex, just all together. We realized that it was not working. The kids were very distracted. We had this big room, and it just wasn't fulfilling what we needed to do. And so I decided to divide the kids up. We have a pre-K area, and then we have a K-6 area, and we have 2 children's churches running simultaneously right now. So as the pre-K doing worship and introducing the lesson and the offering and prayer time, the big kids are doing rotations. And those rotations also have evolved. We started off with a craft and a lesson and enrichment, and now they've asked to do Bible drills. And so now one rotation is they're just learning Bible drills. They're doing book, chapter, verse, and learning how to look those up, and it becomes a competition. And then we switch, and then the little kids get to do their rotations, and they do playroom and craft and lesson. We're actually getting ready to add another rotation because our numbers are starting to increase, and we're going to add some Bible games and activities where they are learning the books of the Bible and Bible verses and things like that, just because our groups are getting too big, and the larger your group is, the harder it is to instruct and for them to learn what it is you want them to learn. We've also added a sensory room for our students that need that one-on-one. We use that for students that might have a little bit of attention problem or a behavior concern, or we have some students that have some special needs. And so we just started a sensory room about 6 months ago, and they are getting one-on-one instruction, but they also get to pull out and go do music sometimes if it works for them. They might go and do a craft if it works for them. But we have that one teacher, and she's able to reach those kids one-on-one.